The buzz around George Pickens in the NFL is heating up, especially when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. There's a lot of chatter from coaches and executives across the league about what Pickens could bring to the table, and it's clear that expectations are high. Some insiders have pointed out that acquiring Pickens wasn't just a routine move. It could be a game changer for the Cowboys' offense. What's fascinating about Pickens is how well he fits into the Cowboys' style of play, particularly in the vertical passing game. He's that true X receiver, the kind of player who can consistently stretch the field and force defenses to adjust. His ability to get open deep downfield is impressive, and that matches perfectly with Dak Prescott's passing strengths, especially on go routes, where Prescott has been one of the most highly graded quarterbacks in the league. But it's not just about running deep routes. Pickens also shines in the boundary, playing outside wide receiver where he can run comebacks, hitches, and slants with precision. This versatility complements CeeDee Lamb's game beautifully. Lamb is known for his sharp route running over the middle of the field, excelling in short area spaces and making plays in traffic. Meanwhile, Pickens' tendency to feast on the outside creates a balance that makes the Cowboys' offense much more dynamic. Together, they form a combination that keeps defenses guessing, forcing them to defend multiple levels of the field at once. At his size, Pickens is also a red zone threat, able to high point the ball and come down with contested catches that often decide games. His knack for making spectacular catches in training camp and practice is something to watch out for, a sign of the impact he can have once the season kicks off. Another underrated aspect of the Pickens addition is the flexibility it offers in personnel packages. With two receivers of this caliber, the Cowboys can confidently explore the tight end sets without sacrificing passing threats. Previously, with Lamb and another receiver, the offense felt limited in its passing options when going heavier on tight ends. Now, with Pickens on board, they can keep defenses honest, trot out players like Lamb, Pickens, and Dalton Schultz or Jake Ferguson, and still pose a legitimate threat through the air. This kind of versatility can also take some pressure off players like tight end Jake Ferguson and running backs involved in the passing game, giving the offense more options and keeping the defense off balance. Of course, there are questions around Pickens' football character and how that might affect his long-term fit. Concerns have been raised about consistency and discipline, which are valid. However, Dallas seems like the perfect environment to tap into his potential. With an established veteran quarterback like Dak Prescott and a coaching staff that knows how to handle talent with a bit of an edge, Pickens has a real chance to flourish. If he can stay focused and committed, this could be a major steal for the Cowboys. A player with legitimate home run ability who could change the game on any given play. Turning attention to the quarterback situation, there's been talk about Callan Carson possibly stepping into a starting role. Both Athlon Sports and Sports Illustrated have him listed as a starter, though with several asterisks. The quarterback depth chart for the Cowboys is murky due to injuries, and that uncertainty is why Carson's name has come up more frequently. While he hasn't been a starter during mini camp or OTA letters, partly because of a lingering shoulder injury he's recovering from, he's expected to be ready for training camp. If a real game were to happen now, he could probably play, but June is still early in the offseason, and the team doesn't want to rush him back too soon. The bigger picture is that the Cowboys need someone to step up at cornerback because key players like Trayvon Diggs might not be ready for Week 1. Diggs' recovery timeline is still uncertain, and the same goes for Savoni Revel, who the team hopes will be healthy in time for camp. Meanwhile, Josh Butler is coming back from an ACL tear and may be close to game ready, but the Cowboys won't rush him either. With all these question marks, Callan Carson could find himself pressed into duty sooner than expected. Last season wasn't great for him. He struggled with coverage and confidence, which is dangerous for a cornerback since opponents will target any weak link. The hope is that he improves significantly in his sophomore year, because without a step forward from him, the Cowboys' cornerback situation looks precarious. Moving to the defensive side of the ball, there's some speculation about Peyton Turner, the former first-round pick from the Saints who joined the Cowboys recently. Sports Illustrated listed him as a possible cut candidate, mainly because there hasn't been much buzz about him during off-season workouts. That's not unusual for big defensive linemen since OTA letters don't involve contact and they don't wear pads, so it's hard to assess their real impact at this stage. Still, some feel that Turner hasn't made enough of an impression to guarantee a roster spot. His role would be as a run stopper more than a pure pass rusher. complementing players like Micah Parsons, Dante Fowler, and Donovan Ezaraku, who all specialize in getting after the quarterback. Turner played all 16 games last season for the first time in his career, putting up career highs in tackles and sacks. So the potential is there. The contract situation also favors keeping him around, with just over $2 million guaranteed on the cap and a relatively light cap hit. The Cowboys don't save much by cutting him. The real question is how Turner fits alongside the rest of the defensive front. If he can carve out a role as a reliable run defender and contribute in key situations, the Cowboys are likely to keep him, but if he falls behind in the depth chart, carrying him might not make sense, given the investment the team has made in defensive ends, including second-round pick Donovan Ezaraku and free agent additions like Dante Fowler. The competition will be fierce. Turner's ability to hold his spot could hinge on his performance in training camp and preseason games. As training camp approaches, the Cowboys' roster battles will be fascinating to watch, especially with so many players vying to prove themselves. From the excitement surrounding George Pickens to the uncertainty at cornerback and the defensive line, this offseason is shaping up to be one of the most intriguing in recent memory. The potential for growth and breakout performances is high, and fans have every reason to be excited about what the 2025 season might bring for Dallas. The pieces are coming together, but it's going to take hard work, focus, and maybe a bit of luck for everything to click. What remains clear is that the Cowboys are gearing up for a season where they aim to be more competitive, dynamic, and unpredictable on both sides of the ball. Looking deeper into the Cowboys' cornerback situation, the pressure on Callan Carson is mounting. He's not a rookie anymore, but his 2024 season left a lot to be desired. Confidence is everything for a cornerback, and when it's shaken, it becomes a target on the field. Opposing offenses pick up on any signs of hesitation or weakness, and they exploit it relentlessly. That's why the Cowboys desperately need a sophomore leap from Carson if he's going to hold down a significant role this year. Ideally, the team wouldn't have to rely on him heavily because Trayvon Diggs, their top cornerback, would be healthy and ready to return to form. Alongside Diggs, the hope is that Savoni Revel can make an early impact, securing that starting spot and allowing the Cowboys to deploy their ideal secondary. But the reality of the NFL is rarely that simple. Injuries are part of the game, and depth is tested every single week. So while it's comforting to think of Carson as a fifth or sixth option, history suggests he'll be called upon. There will be moments this season when he has to make plays and hold his ground against some of the league's best receivers. That kind of responsibility is daunting given his track record so far, which is why his development is so crucial. The Cowboys coaching staff will need to work closely with him, building his confidence, sharpening his technique, and making sure he understands his role within the defense. If he can rise to the occasion, it might not just stabilize the cornerback group, it could become one of the surprises of the year. For Dallas, on the defensive front, Peyton Turner's future with the team still feels a bit uncertain despite his solid contributions last season. He finally played a full slate of games, which is encouraging for a player who struggled with injuries earlier in his career. His career-high tackles and sacks show he's capable, but the lack of buzz during off-season workouts raises questions about how he fits into the current defensive scheme. With the Cowboys adding players like Dante Fowler and drafting Donovan Ezaraku, the competition for snaps along the defensive line is intense. Turner's role is likely to be more specialized as a run defender, complementing the edge rushers who excel in getting after the quarterback. His contract situation makes him an affordable option for the team, so unless there's a clear upgrade, he probably sticks around. However, the margin for error is thin. If he doesn't prove he can contribute consistently, the Cowboys won't hesitate to look elsewhere. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Whispers have begun to swirl around the NFL as speculation mounts about a potential blockbuster move. Kirk Cousins to the Dallas Cowboys, though nothing has been confirmed. The mere possibility of Cousins joining the Cowboys has sent shockwaves through fan circles and social media, igniting a firestorm of excitement and debate. The thought of the veteran quarterback donning the iconic star on his helmet has fans already imagining the celebrations that could follow such a high-profile acquisition. Cousins, known for his consistent arm and ability to lead an offense with poise, has long been a figure of interest for teams looking to solidify their quarterback position. The Cowboys, a franchise hungry for a franchise signal caller to return them to their glory days, appear to be eyeing Cousins as a potential solution. Rumors suggest that negotiations might already be underway, with Dallas keen to inject experience and stability into their offensive lineup. The prospect of a Kirk Cousins-led Cowboys offense has sparked widespread jubilation among supporters who have been yearning for a dependable leader. Under center, the atmosphere around the Cowboys headquarters has reportedly taken on a festive vibe, with insiders hinting at an atmosphere of optimism and anticipation. If Cousins were to arrive, the celebrations among the fan base would likely be electric, reminiscent of past marquee signings that changed the franchise's trajectory. The excitement is palpable, with many envisioning packed stadiums and roaring crowds eager to witness the quarterback's debut in the star-spangled jersey. While nothing is set in stone, the buzz surrounding Cousins and Dallas is impossible to ignore. Analysts and fans alike are pondering how his experience and skill set might mesh with the Cowboys' current roster and coaching strategies. Could this be the move that finally pushes Dallas back into Super Bowl contention? Only time will tell. But the rumor mill is certainly working overtime, and the Cowboys faithful are holding their breath in hopeful anticipation. As talks reportedly progress behind closed doors, the NFL world watches closely. The prospect of Kirk Cousins arriving in Dallas is more than just a simple rumor. It's a tantalizing possibility that has already begun to redefine expectations for the upcoming season. For Cowboys fans, the dream of a new era under Cousins might be closer than ever, and the celebrations could be just around the corner. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.